And welcome to another episode of the Tar Heels Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Grant Chachere, bringing you all the latest news in regards to your North Carolina Tar Heels. And of course, I am also the lead beat writer for Tar Heels on SI. Sorry, my allergies are killing me. I don't know why. But I guess I'm allergic to watching good football here in Chapel Hill because the football program cannot be normal. But they did not play yesterday. They'll play against Cal next week. They will play at Cal on Friday in Berkeley. It'll be a 3,000-mile trip, and we'll have a lot of coverage about that. So things can start to pick up a little bit more because you got football and basketball kind of happening simultaneously. Of course, last week was a very basketball-centric week for coverage. However, because the football program, of course, is not a normal football program, we're talking about off-the-field issues instead of on-the-field issues during the bye week. And it was supposed to be all about basketball, but eventually we're able to talk more and more about basketball. Thursday, Caleb Wilson spoke at the podium along with Jaden Young. We were able to see them practice. It was great to see that. I mean, just see how well run it was and see how relaxed the team was and everything, which led me to this podcast episode. What I want to talk about in today's episode, which is why I think North Carolina is the biggest dark horse in college basketball this year. And I know that sounds crazy that we're putting North Carolina basketball and dark horse in the same sentence, but this is where we're at right now. North Carolina right now is a hinged top 25 team. It's not because nobody thinks they're good. It's because you brought in a lot of new players. Seth Trimble's the only player coming back. A lot of new pieces. I mean, Kyan Evans and Luka Bogovac, they joined in the back court. And then in the front court, you have Henry Vassar, who is a very experienced player, and Caleb Wilson, who is a blue-chip freshman. I mean, he's going to be a fantastic player. Also, he had a great interview. If you haven't seen that up on the website, he has an interview. Go check it out. I mean, it's incredible. But you can also look it up on YouTube. But there's a lot of Caleb Wilson interview videos out there. So he's an incredible interview. Guy's only 18 years old, and he is a very mature young man. And I'm saying that as an old head because I'm not even that old. I'm 26, so I guess I haven't reached old head yet, but old head status yet. But I guess I have. But anyway, just going back to the team. I mean, you also have depth, right? I mean, you got Jaron Stevenson coming in from Alabama. You have Jaden Young, who has a good bit of experience playing the SEC at Virginia Tech, who also is a North Carolina native. Should factor that in as well. You also have Derek Dixon, another freshman who everyone has been saying a lot of great things about lately. His stock seems to be rising. You also have Jonathan Powell, who's another guy who's experienced coming over from West Virginia to college. And you also, James Brown and Zane High are also going to be key pieces in the front court as well. From what I have heard, Zane High has been the guy who might be the first big off the bench for North Carolina. And then, of course, James Brown gets some playing time, but right now everyone's high on Zane High. No pun intended. And you start looking at all these pieces, right? You know, Hubert wanted to bring in versatile players. Guys who could do a little bit of everything. He also wanted better shooting. He also wanted more size. And he seems like he's gotten all of them. Henry Vassar can play on the inside really well. He's very efficient scorer when he's in the paint. Very good defender in the paint. He's one of the best shot blockers in the country. And on top of that, he actually excels at the three ball. He shot 31% from three last year. It's pretty good. Jaron Stevenson is an excellent defender, and he can defend in the paint and also in the perimeter. He's a really good three-point shooter, right? Luka Bogovac and Kyan Evans are great shooters. Maybe even bordering on elite shooters. They could shoot the crap out of a three ball. They could. They are really, really good three-point shooters. Seth Trimble is a very experienced player, right? And if you look at his numbers over the years throughout his time at Carolina, they've improved constantly, especially his free throw percentage. That's one thing that's to me is how much better his free throw percentage has been. And then you got Caleb Wilson, who could do a little bit of everything. He could not only be a great guy in the paint as a power forward, but he also is a point forward. He could take up the ball up and down the court. He's a very, very, very good passer. Yeah, he's playing the 4 at North Carolina, but he's probably more of a natural 3 than he is a 4. But they just named him a 4 because, I mean, the dude is 6'10", can block shots, can shoot threes. Like, he can do it all. Very versatile player. So they need him there. And also, and what allows him to be a 4 is also that you have really tall guards. And that's something that Hubert brought up at ACC Media Days. I mean, yeah, Seth Trimble is 6'3", 6'4". Right? Kai Evans might be the shortest guy. And he's 6'2". Derek Dixon is 6'5". Luka Bogovac is 6'6". Jonathan Powell is 6'6". Jane Young is 6'4", 6'5". Like, you have much taller guards than you did the year before. So it allows more versatility in how you do your lineups. Like, they could do a small ball lineup and still be big. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could still be a very big team. Like, say, you want Seth Trimble. You can put Seth Trimble, Luka Bogovac, Derek Dixon, Jonathan Powell, and then also have Caleb Wilson at the 5. You could do that. Now, I probably not could do that much, but, I mean, there's so many things you could do with this lineup because of the height, because of the versatility that each of these players have. So when you factor that in, I really think North Carolina, yes, right now they are a fringe top 25 team, but if they start to pick up heat as the season gets along, as they start to pick up chemistry as the season goes along, this could be a top 10 team, a top 5 team. You could probably be looking at a number 1 seed in North Carolina. Of course, everything has to work out. But this is a team that I feel like is really good. And we know covering the team, they can have a chance to be really good. But I don't think the rest of the country yet understands how good this North Carolina team can be because of all the things I just mentioned. And I think they are definitely a top 4 team in the ACC. I really do. I know Louisville is going to be really good. I know Duke is going to be Duke. You kind of expect it at this point. But Virginia should be better. I know NC State should be a lot better. Miami looks like they could be improved. There's a lot of good coaches and good players in the ACC, so there's always a chance for improvement. But I think North Carolina has a chance to be a top 4 seed, a top 4 team in the ACC. And really, if you're a top 4 team in the ACC, that means you're going to be about a 5, 6 seed at worst. Maybe 7 and 8, depending on how great everybody else is. But if you're a top 4 team in the ACC, that's a really good team. Period. Point blank. Period. And I think this North Carolina team can do it. I think if they beat Kansas in the first week of the year and they also go on the road and beat Kentucky in early December, this team has a chance to be very special. Probably Hubert's best team, probably ever, right? And maybe even better than the 23-24 team that won the ACC championship, right? The ACC regular season title. I think they have a chance to be better than that. Because I think overall, if you look at the depth of this team, you look at the height of this team, the versatility and everything, I think that's better than the 23-24 team. And, of course, we know about Hubert's team in its first year where they went to the national title game. But that team wasn't supposed to go that far, right? that they went on a crazy run. They got hot at the right time. Yes, they did have a lot of great pieces, but they also got hot at the right time. It was one of those things. It wasn't like, they were just – because they were struggling throughout the year. It wasn't really too late in the season where they really started to build up their chemistry and pick up steam and, of course, go on that run and especially beat that Duke team twice. That was a great Duke team with Paulo Banchero and all those different players. And they beat Coach K in his last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium. That's still probably one of the most famous. That's probably still one of the best games I've seen. That game that will always be memorable for me because it was Coach K's last game, and of course North Carolina beat him, which is kind of the symbolism of this rivalry that North Carolina just happens to ruin what should be a great night for Duke. Because Duke, we usually, when those games happen, it's usually like on senior night, whenever North Carolina plays at Duke. And of course, North Carolina has a tendency to beat them. They did that with J.J. Redick, and of course, they did it with Coach K. Coach K's last game, and of course, in the Final Four, UNC beat Duke. And what was a historic matchup because it's the first time both programs have met each other in the SEC tournament, which is pretty wild to think about. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent on the history lesson. But yeah, like, this team has a chance to be the best team in Hubert's time in Chapel Hill. That's if everything can click together. If they don't click together, I mean, there's going to be talks about whether or not Hubert's job is safe. Now, I don't think so because I think this team has a chance to be very good. If you look at the vibes around the team, they seem to be really good. Hubert, it seems like a lot more relaxed. Just watching him at practice, he seems relaxed, and that usually means that he's very comfortable with the guys he has, and also talking to some other guys. I mean, he really talking to other guys on the beat. You know, this is the most comfortable. They told me that this is the most comfortable Hubert has been, which says a lot about the state of the program, because that means they have, for the first time, he feels comfortable with the guys he's sending out on the court. Now, of course, games have to be played. We are about 2 weeks away from the exposition game against BYU. That's on the 24th. That's on Friday. So that'll be not this upcoming Friday, but the Friday after next on the 24th. Then you have the exposition game against Winston-Salem State on October 29th. And then, of course, the first game of the year is on November 3rd. On Monday, November 3rd, against Central Arkansas. And of course, you get the big game against Kansas on November 7th. Friday, November 7th. So there's still a lot of time to see how great this North Carolina team can be. And of course, you know, sometimes you don't know until late in the season. For example, 2021, 2022. So, I mean, so a lot of times in college basketball, you don't know how good this team is going to be because it may not happen until the middle of the season. It's you know, college basketball is a game of runs. Not only in the game, but also on a game-by-game basis. But I think this North Carolina team has a chance to be, I think, is the biggest dark horse in college basketball. Look at the pieces. Look what the pieces could do when they're playing together. And then also you're North Carolina. You're expected to be good. But I think everybody on the beat knows that, how good this North Carolina team can be if everything clicks together. But I don't think the rest of the country understands how good this North Carolina team can be when they're clicking. Because, you know, North Carolina's always, you know, under Hubert, they've had a roller coaster ride, to say the least. But anyway, thanks so much for watching the Tar Heels Insider Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Grant Chachere, the lead beat writer for North Carolina Tar Heels on the side. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.